is going to build and test your code. Is it clear? Just imagine you are writing some lines of program, 100 lines of program, and your team is also like after you, that subcategory teams also, they are developing. One person is writing 10 lines of program in some other part, another person is running 10 lines of program, another person is running 100 lines of program. You just imagine when team is working in a certain project, the whole number of source code of the whole project is going to be really huge, right? It might be 500 lines of program. And you just imagine, once we have written all the 500 lines of program, for an example, me 100 and another person 500 or 300, another person 200 and 100, likewise, every people will be working on their program, their subcategory. You just imagine at the final stage, what if while we are merging everything together, if it is returning an error, right? It's going to be really not good idea, right? So on the time, you need to spend a lot of time to analyze each and every person's code, and you need to build it together, and you need to test your code, and etc. A lot of process need to be done, right? At the end of the time I'm talking about. So to overcome that, we are going to use the methodology like CI or CD pipelines. So first of all, while talking about the CI, which is continuous integration, whenever you are writing a code, whenever you are writing the code and you have saved it and you have committed it, and when you are pushing it to the version control like GitHub repository or anything, that is going to automatic build and it is going to test your code. Is it going to be amazing, right? So instead of you are going to do that activity like doing a modification and saving it and testing by yourself and running the same kind of, if there are around 10 lines of commands to test your code, again and again, you'll be typing cd space directory and test your code by executing a lot of commands. You don't want to do that. Instead, whenever you are using this type of continuous integration, whenever you are saving the program and you are committing the changes and you are pushing it to the repository, it will automatically do the building and testing by itself. That is what the continuous integration is. I hope you guys have got a clear idea, guys. And whenever you are talking about the continuous deployment, is the practice of automatically deploy your application to a production environment every time changes passes the CI test. Simple. Continuous integration is going to check out your code by building it and testing your application whenever you are doing the changes and committing into the GitHub. But what the continuous deployment will do is, actually the continuous deployment is dependent on the continuous integration. Okay. Once after all the test is got passed, then it is moving on to the CD continuous deployment, which is going to deploy our application into the production environment. There are a lot of, clouds which is available to host your application. On that, this continuous deployment, which is going to do the task for you. So guys, is it clear? So I hope you really understand why I'm taking very much time to explain you this. So continuous integration is the first step. Continuous deployment is the second step. Continuous integration, whenever you are writing the program, once you have saved it, once you have committed it into the GitHub or version control repository, it will automatically build and test your code. And it will show all the results in the GitHub. Okay, all the results in the sense, this is the test you have made. This is the error you have got. This is the test. So this is the error. Whenever error, if error is got passed, so error got passed. So likewise, it is going to automatically build and test your code whenever you are saving the code and committing the changes and pushing the code into the version control repository. But whenever you are talking about the continuous deployment, once after all the test has been passed, if the test is not even passed, it won't move towards the deployment stage. Only if test is got passed, then it is going to deploy your application in any production environment. That's what the CD is. Continuous integration is for building and testing the application, and continuous deployment is going to check whether all the test cases is passed. Then it's time to push the application into the final deployment. It will automatically push it. So that is what it's all about. Okay, I hope you have got a very good idea. So now let us jump into the hands-on part. So guys, this hands-on part, I've given every steps in detail in this mind map, guys. Please use this as your Bible for this. So, okay, because it is going to be having every information which is needed to complete this project. So first of all, you need to create a new simple Node.js application. I hope you already know how to create a new simple Node.js application. So to do that, I've already given all these procedures in detail, and this is my old repository. Wait a minute. Okay, so likewise, I just created a new folder. Okay, so once you have created a new folder, just open that folder in a Visual Studio Code, of course. Okay, from this place, we are going to start creating, the projects. And while talking about that, first of all, you just create one new folder called my node space -app. Okay, because this is what the application name which you are going to build right now. For that, I'm going to create a new folder. Okay, in this new folder, I'm going to give the name like my-nodes-app-2. Okay, just for my purpose, I'm just going to create a folder like this. You just do it in your way. Okay, I just created one application called my-node-app-2. And once you have created that, now it's time to go into the terminal because we are going to execute some commands. So to do that, just go through the 3 dot and terminal and click a new terminal. Here we are going to execute the command to start the Node projects. Okay, Node.js project. To initialize the Node.js project, first of all, you need to go into the directory first, because whenever you're opening the terminal, it will be opening in a CI/CD directory. So now simply type cd space tab, and it is going to automatically suggest you the folder, which is my-node-app-2. Just hit enter. Once you have hit enter, now we are inside the directory. Inside this directory, now we are going to initialize simple Node.js project by using the command npm space init space -y. Y is nothing but the S command. So whenever I'm hitting enter, so Node.js project, which is going to be initialized into that certain directory. Even if you are really expanding it, you can able to see the package.json file. So whenever you are getting this package.json file, which means that you have initiated the Node.js project successfully. And even if you are clearly notice, it is showing the name, version, and script and keywords, because we are going to do some modification in the package.json. So just see this whole package.json. And once it has been done, now it's time to install the Express to easily write the codes. So now I'm just going to execute the command npm space install space Express. Okay, so I hope you already know these simple procedures. So this is how you can able to initialize the project in creating a new directory and initializing the Node.js by using npm space init space -y, and please install Express. And now we are jumping onto the application. Guys, since we are new to this kind of concept, I want to make this project to be very simple. So that's why I'm not going to over complex by building very huge complex project. Later, we are going to do that, don't worry. But other than that, right now, I'm going to create a simple project. And remember, whenever you are creating any files into the certain directory, you just be aware where you are creating that file, because that will all affect your code. So I'm just going to click the package.json. I am going to create a new file, which is named as like index.js. Okay, just carefully watch. So this program is very simple. Okay, it is just going to print the hello world. Whenever people are visiting to the certain local host or anything, it is going to simply print the hello world. Even I can show you that. Okay, this is what the project is. And you can execute the command node space index.js. Whenever you are executing it, it is going to show server is running on the port number 3000. And you just open your browser and simply type localhost 3000, and it is going to print the hello world. Guys, this is the project is. Okay, even you can, instead of this, you can just put up any project you are working on. It might be a to-do list, or it can be any application. So you can just use that. But right now, our web development application which we are using here is to print the hello world. Okay, so localhost :3000, whenever you are executing it, yeah, this application is running right now. So that's what the project which we are going to use it right now. So I'm just going to terminate this, because we are going to work on the CI/CD pipelines, and we are going to deploy this application in the cloud so that anyone can able to easily access that with the help of only on the URL. They don't want to install the Docker. They don't want to, as a client side, they can able to easily access access the certain URL so that they can able to easily access the application. That's what we are going to do together. So right now, we just simply created one project which is going to print the hello world whenever people are getting into this localhost and the port number. That's what the application we have created first. Okay, that's what the step number 1. I hope you are clear about the step number 1. But in the step number 1, we need to add another part, which is a script. Inside the script, actually inside the package.json, we are going to additionally add one single line called start script. So guys, always remember, whenever you are seeing your files, like look out that package.json, so it is going to access, it is like a key, and it is gonna be the value for it. Okay, same as like inside the script, we are going to initialize one start. So whenever from any program, if you are really accessing the start, it will execute the command node space index.js. So guys, hope you are clear, because right now you already understood what is meant by this node space index.js, right? So at the same time, so same command, whenever people are executing the start, it is going to execute the command node space index.js as we have did here. So that is the one and only line which I am going to do the modification in my package.json. Okay, so it is not a package-log.json, it is package.json. Just click that package.json and give start : node space index.js, and don't forget to put up the comma. Okay, so because there is another command is also there. So test echo error, no test is specified. Even you can just change this like 0 kind of thing. Okay, because that's going to be needed. So that's what which I did. Are you clear? So guys, are you clear? Because here we are not going to do that. So we are going to simply execute in this way. So node space index.js and no test is specified, exit 0. So that's how we have modified the code in my package.json. So the first step is completed. We have created a simple Node.js project. Whenever people are visiting that URL with a certain port number, it will print the hello world message. And in the package.json, we have did a 2 modification. One is we have added the start value. So start is node space index.js. And second one is in the test case, we have made exit as a 0. Okay, so that's what we guys have did. And then what is going to be the second step is we are going to create a GitHub repository. I hope you already know how to create a GitHub repositories. So we are going to do that, but just remember, I hope you already know this. Whenever you are initializing any project, initially it won't be Git enabled, right? Even you can just go to the view option and show and hidden. Even the hidden items has been enabled. This folder is not a Git folder. So whenever you really want to push your files, the local files into the Git repository, you need to convert that local folder into a Git folder, right? So the Git initialization need to be done. So that's what we are going to do. So to do that, what I'm going to do is we are going to execute the command like git space init. So what the git space init will do, it will initialize, all those files. But before that, let me do one step. Let us create one GitHub repository, guys. Okay, wait a minute. Okay, so git branch and push. Okay, so what we are going to do is, first of all, let us open our GitHub repositories. Okay, simply type GitHub. Okay, so I'm going to create a new repository for this project. Already we have created some of the project like this, but right now we are going to create another new project, another new repository. Okay, I'm just going to click create new. And what is the folder name? My node-app2. So it's up to you, but I'm going to do in the same way. So my space node space -app -2. Okay, so likewise, I'm just going to create a new repository for this and let it be public and add a README file optional. But right now I'm going to click create repository. So we are getting into the new repository. Look out that it is having a README file and username is Sanjay Waresway, and my repository name is my-node-app-2. So likewise, I've created a new repository. So once you have created a new repository, right now we need to initialize our files, our folder as a Git repository. To do that, I'm going to change it. Okay, wait a minute. Before that, okay. So right now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to initialize this git space init. Whenever you are initializing git space init, so you can see the folder, it created one hidden folder called .git. So this is how you can able to initialize the Git into your folder. So that's what we guys have done. And what is the next step? Here we have already created some file, right? So we need to add all the files into a staging area. So as I've already told you, if you want to add a single file, you can use a command called git space add space the file name. But here we have, all the files. Look at that. Even if you are really executing git space status, you can see there are all the files which are in the look at that untracked files. Look at that index.js and node modules folder and package-log.json and package.json. All the files and folders are in the untracked category. So that's why all the files are showing like you. So first of all, you need to add into the staging area. To add every files into a staging area, what is the command? Git space add space dot, okay, space dot, because dot is going to represent all the files. So git space add space the period, the dot, whenever you are hitting enter, all the files which is going to be moved on to the staging area. So once you have given that, look at that, all the files which has been converted shown as like a. Okay, right now it's time to do a commit and it's time to do pushing into your GitHub repository. So to do a commit, so initially this is my first commit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do an initial commit, git space commit space -m, and this is your message, guys. As I've already told you, like it is an initial commit, so I'm just going to put initial commit and I'm going to hit enter. So once I've committed, so every files, there is nothing is going to be shown. So everything has been committed. Only push is the remaining thing. So before pushing, first of all, you need to set the origin, right? And I really truly believing that you completed the previous session. Those people who have skipped the previous session, you might not able to do anything in this today's session. Okay, please complete the previous session, because previous session itself, we guys have already told you how to create a Git, how to log in it, and how to change the user, even though you have forgot who the user is. And we have shown you what is meant by origin and etc. Origin is nothing but the user, okay, the URL of your GitHub repository. So to do that, first, what you can do is you can just go to your GitHub and click the code option and copy the GitHub repository. So once you have copied the GitHub repository, what is the command? Git space remote space add origin. So that's what we are going to do it together right now. So git space remote space add origin. Git space remote space add origin. So once you have given that, and then you need to give the URL for it. So whenever you are hitting enter, so it is going to assign that GitHub repository as an origin for it. And once it has been assigned as this is the real origin, so whenever you are pushing any files, it will be uploaded into this GitHub. So we have configured the origin. So next thing, what you need to do, you need to see the branch, right? If you have a multiple branches, you need to specify which branch you are going to upload in. So right now I'm going to use git space branch space -m main. Okay, so to do that, I'm just in this directory and git space branch space -m space main. So whenever you are hitting enter, you can see it is going to be using the main branch. And once we have configured the main branch, now it's time to push all those files into the GitHub repository, right? Because we have already added it into the staging area and then we have committed it. But now it's time to push all those files into the GitHub repository. When we are trying to execute this type of command, like git space a push space -u origin main, whenever you are getting this kind of error, like rejected, error failed to push some refers or something like that, how you can able to solve it? You can just use this command, like allow unrelated history. You can just solve it with the help of this command as well. Okay, whenever you are getting this error, you just please note it down. So git space pull space origin space main -- allow - unrelated histories. So whenever you are really using this command, like by using this, it is going to do this kind of modification, like head and then main and etc. And then whenever you are executing this command, like git space push space -u origin space main, so that file which is going to be pushed into it. Okay, So what is the error? Because I always teach based on errors, guys. So whenever you are getting this kind of error, this is the command. Okay, wait a minute. Okay, if error, okay, this is the command to solve the error. So let me paste the error for you guys. Okay, so I'm sorry. So if the errors are like this, okay, so I'll make this mind map to be very clear. So whenever you are getting this type of rejected error, okay, let me boundary mark it. Okay, so whenever you are getting this error, you just try to use this command and then try to push this one. Okay, so that's how I just solved this issue. So you can also try to, if you are getting only in this error, you can just use this command to solve this error by using this. And I just executed this command first, and then I just executed the second command next. And whenever you are really refreshing this page, you can see node modules, readme, and index.js JSON files. And even if you really want to refer this, you can just open the package.json. You can see our test file, the modification which you have done as a 0, and node space index.js, everything is good. Okay, I hope you really love this error-based learning, guys. If you really love this, you just post, I love this, Sanjay, in your live chat. And yeah, so now our repository is ready. So now my local repository is communicating with the GitHub repository. So it is ready right now. Now it's time to set up GitHub actions for CI. What I have told about the CI, which is a continuous integration, whenever you are doing any modification in your code and you are committing and you are pushing it to the GitHub repository, automatically it is going to build it and it is going to test it. That's what the CI we guys have explored. So that's why what we are going to do is we are going to set action workflows, because you just imagine if it want to build your file or test your application, there is a series of command. Go into the directory and execute this command, execute that command. So likewise, there is going to be a series of things. So that's why what we are going to do is in our directory, we are going to create a folder called .github. Okay, just go to this and just click in this anywhere else and create a new folder called .github. And inside the GitHub, just create another subfolder called workflow. Okay, I'm just going to create a new folder called workflows. Okay, yeah. So inside the workflow, I'm going to create a new file called ci.yml file. Guys, all those instructions, because as I've already told you, this AI continuous integration, which is automatically it is going to build it and test your files whenever you are saving and committing and pushing into the version control repositories. So if you want to do those kind of activity, you need to write all those instructions. What is the command need to be executed and those things. So that's why what we are going to do is inside this workflows folder, I'm going to create one new file called ci.yml file. So inside that ci.yml file, we are going to execute certain instructions. Just see this. Guys, this instruction might be bigger, might be looking bigger, but it is very, very simple. Look out that name I've given us like node.js CI. And this is like configuring the variables kind of thing. Okay, whenever you are pushing the branches, it should be a main branch. Whenever you are doing a pull request onto the branches, it should be a main branch. So likewise, we are configuring the branches for both the push command as well as the pull request. And then jobs. So guys, so here you just remember, whenever you're talking about the jobs, it might be a build, it might be deploy, it might be test, it might be anything. So that is known as a job is. And whenever you're talking about these jobs, here runs on Ubuntu latest, even if you really wanted to execute like Windows, even if you're really using Ubuntu, it is going to work. So runs on Windows -latest. Likewise, we guys have configured the runs on system. And strategy here, what is the strategy is, we are creating one matrix which is going to have multiple version of Node.js, because whenever it is going to build it, it is going to build on a multiple version. It is going to build on 14.js and it is going to build on 16 and 18. So to check out the reliabilities. So here the strategy we have configured as a matrix, and inside the matrix we are going to configure the node-version as 14 version, 16 version, and 18 version. So likewise, we guys have configured everything. Now it's time to go for the steps. So just remember, we are inside the job. inside the job, we are going to do the first job, which is a build as a project, build as a job. So these all the things is under the build, right? I hope you can able to see the indentation. So there's all the things which is going to be under the build as a job. So here it is going to do the build jobs. In the build jobs, in the steps, first it is going to check out the actions, because you need to update in your repository, right? So that's what we have configured first. And then name, it is going to use the Node.js, and it is going to use the different matrix versions, because I mean Node.js versions 14, 16, and 18, and uses actions slash setup hyphen node v2. So right now it has been checking out the first setting up the v2, and then it is going to set up one by one node version, because with node version of 1 and then second and then third, it is going to be keep on updating. And then it is going to do an installation, npm space install and then npm space test. Okay, right now basically we guys have initialized the ci.yml file. Okay, basic installation initialization. Okay, so npm space install and npm space test, because even if you have any test script and those things, you can able to use it. Right now, as you have already noticed something here, when we have used that ci.yml file, it just converted as a u. So what you need to do, you need to add it again, and you need to push it to the GitHub. So that's what we need to do. So that's why I'm just going to add git space add space dot. Okay, wait a minute. Okay, git space add space dot. So it is going to add this ci.yml file into a staging area. And then here we are going to do a commit. So git space commit space -m add ci workflow. So here we are adding, we are doing a committing, and then we are going to push it to the GitHub. Just carefully watch. So when we have pushed it, here it is going to push those files into your Git repository, right? Just go to your GitHub and go and refresh your GitHub, and you can see the folder called GitHub workflows, and you just added that ci.yml. Remember, when you are clearly noticed something in your GitHub, something is happening here. Add CI workflow, right? This is what is all about, the power of the CI, guys. So what you can simply do is you just simply go to actions. In the actions, it will automatically execute what are the things which you have written in here, like ci.yml. It will be automatically executed by this. Look how that it is running. Can you watch this? If you are really seeing this for the first time, you just post FT in your live chat. So whenever I'm clicking this, you can see, so all the jobs which is going to be executed by itself. Ta-da! 3 jobs completed. Do you really love this? Whenever you are really clicking it, whenever you are really opening it. So why there is 3 jobs? One is by using a Node.js version 14, and another one which is going to be executing is like Node.js 16. And then whenever you're executing a third thing, which is Node.js on 18. Guys, do you really love this? Okay, we guys have created one job to build it. First of all, you can see it is a setting up the job, and then it is going to run the action slash checkout v2 options. Look out that these are all the things which is going to be executed. And then if you are expanding the actions, so how it is going to be running out the actions, like syncing the repository, because it need to be updated here. And then now it's going to use the Node.js version number 18. So that's what it has been done. And then run space npm space install. So it is going to install all the required packages. And then it is going to test, run space npm space test. So right now we haven't tested we haven't added any test scripts. So that's why no test is specified. That's what it is returning, nothing. And post use Node.js 18. So post job cleanup, and again post run actions setup. Inside checkout. So that is also been updated, post job cleanup and everything. And finally, it is going to print the message like completed job. Okay. So guys, you really got it. So here, just carefully remember, in your command of execution, clearly notice this add CI workflow is the recent commit which we have done. So on that name, that all the job is gonna be done. Whenever you are doing any modification in your code, whenever you are pushing into the repository, that will update it. Even let me show you a clear demo. In this program, let me have index.js. Here in the hello world, here I'm going to put message like hello. Okay. Warriors Way community. So likewise, I've did some modification. And whenever you are doing any modification in the program, as I've already told you, that file will be changed into a modified file. So once it has been modified, just remember you need to execute all that steps to see the changes in your repo. Okay, Git, first of all, you need to add all those files into your staging area. So we guys have added those files. Okay, so git space add space dot, and once it has been executed, now it's time to do a commit. Okay, so now in the commit, you need to change the message, right? So add CI workflow, modified test. Okay, modified. Okay, just like I'm just going to give the message like modified and hit enter. And now it's time to push into your GitHub. So whenever you are executing push and just open your, okay, let us wait. Yeah, it got pushed. And now if you are really refreshing your actions tab, you can see the second workflow which is going to be running right now, which is add CI workflow modified. So guys, are you all satisfied about CI? Okay, continuous integration. If you are really satisfied, you just give your comments in the live chat. Okay, it is going to be automatically executed and it is going to give the message like completed. Okay, the tick, you can able to see that. Okay, let us wait to see. Okay, so this is what the CI is all about, continuous integration. So whenever you are doing any modification program and committing it and pushing it to the GitHub repository, automatically it will build. And even if you have a test script, it is going to test it and it is going to show you the results. Is there any problem or not? If in your team, if you're sub teams, they are really doing any modification, if they are pushing into the repo, automatically it will execute all the test configuration which you have entered. It will automatically execute it and it will tell them whether there is a problem or not. If there is a problem, again, they really want to do all the modification, they need to push it. And whenever they really, as a company, if they really want to change, if they really want to track whatever the modification they have did, so they can simply go into the GitHub and they can see all the steps which they have did. Okay, so do you really got it? So that's what this CI is all about. So right now you might be already satisfied about the CI right now, right? So now it's time to move one step further. So I hope you all satisfied about the CI, guys. So CI is clear, continuous integration, and it is also going to be helpful for testing and building and those things. So right now we are moving on to the next important part. Okay, so what is the thing is, now we are going to set up the Heroku. Sanjay, why we haven't moved on to the CD and why we are moving on to the Heroku? What does mean by CD first? CD is nothing but continuous deployment. Whenever you are doing any modification, whenever you are really updating into the, whenever you are updating anything in your program, at the final deployment, it need to be deployed into the final deployment category. So that's why we are moving on to the CD. But whenever you're talking about the CD, that need to be applied into the deployment environment. That deployment environment still now we haven't created, we haven't used. That's why we are jumping onto the deployment environment first, deployment category first. On talking about the deployment, there are a lot of ways out there. Today we are jumping onto by using Heroku. Okay. So guys, while talking about the Heroku, I've already created an account. I think it is right. Previously, they used to offer free tires and etc. But now, definitely, you really want to log in with the help of your cards. I've did that. It's up to your option. If you're really creating some awesome application, if you really want to deploy it in a real time, you can just do it. Otherwise, that's up to you guys. But I've already done that. Okay. So what you guys wanted to do is, first of all, create an account in Heroku. And you need to install the Heroku CLI by using this URL. Everything I've given in this mind map, guys, this mind map is going to be a blueprint for you. So, okay, so here I'm just going to log into the Heroku CLI. And before that, here you need to create an account. Okay, so I hope you already know how to create an account. Just simply click sign up, and it is going to ask you your email ID and those things. Because CLI is nothing but command line interface, even though it is, you need to give those information so that you can able to access that Heroku from your command window. So I'm going to give my name, Sanjay. So likewise, give all those information. So I'm just going to give like this. Okay, I'm going to give the name like this, and I'm going to give so what is hub, and I'm going to give the role like hobbyist and India and developer language. Let me choose Node.js, and I'm not a robot, and create an account. So this is how you can able to create an account. Okay, so definitely it is going to send you the email notification. I'm going to do that. So it just send you the activation link for you. So you just want to click that, and you need to activate your Heroku account. So once it got activated, for some of the services, it will ask a credit card. You just up to you. So if you are doing it, just carefully note to use that, because always whenever people are using their credit cards to for this kind of online services, they are nearly not aware. They're simply giving their credit card details, and if they are really without even noticing how it is really consuming and everything, it will consume all the money, especially credit card. So that's why be aware about it. Even, do you know one thing? I can tell you one best example. I've used one cloud where it is based on the image recognition, based on the deep learning. When we have given the card details, when we have run the same application in the video, it is going to acquire all the frame continuously, right? Within a single second, it is going to use a lot of frames. It is in my beginning stage, okay, when I started working on AWS. So on the time when I used an video based application, it really consumed a lot of API calls, because instead of testing an image, I tested with the video. So it is a continuous frame, again a lot of API call which is being occurred, and it is going to it is going to eat all your money. So just be aware about it. But right now it is asking a password. Okay, so just give the password and just set it up. So once your Heroku is ready, yes, click here to proceed. So I'm just going to click here. So once it logged in, so that's what, so I'm just going to create an authenticator. Okay, yeah. So yeah, guys, very important thing. Whenever you are creating an account in Heroku, it is going to ask you this type of option where you need to scan your barcode with the help of your mobile phone. You need to authenticate it. Okay, you can use Google Authenticator. Okay, if you really have. So look out that Salesforce Authenticator, or one-time password generator, or a security key. Okay, you can just click a security key if you really want it, or you can use a one-time password generator. Okay, so you look out that Authenticator app on your mobile device, and you can scan the QR code. Okay, so I'm just going to scan the QR code right now. So I'm going to add that. It is going to ask you to give the website name or user and those things. You just want to give that. Okay, so it's going to ask my username. So you can use any three methodology. Out of three, you can use any one. Okay, I'm going to give the password. Okay, so likewise, I just added in my mobile phone, so it is going to show me some verification code. So I'm going to click connect. So this is how you need to create an account in Heroku, guys. Please just go and do it, okay? Because without doing, definitely only knowing is always not equals to not knowing. So always, whatever the stuff which you are learning, please go and do it. Okay, here I have just created this account, Heroku account. So I just go into this directory. Yes. Okay, it is loading. I hope it is really looking very interesting, right? Okay. Yeah, so this is how your Heroku page will be looking like. Okay, it is gonna be a dashboard.heroku.com/apps. So this is how it will be looking like. I hope you have got this page. Please go and do it. Okay, pause this video and go do and all these steps. So right now we are in the homepage of Heroku. So once you have created, Heroku, and also please don't forget to install the command line interface. So that link also I've given for you. Look out that Git installation or based on the Windows. If you are using a Windows, please click 64-bit installer and please install that. Okay, only then you can able to execute Heroku space login kind of commands. You can able to execute from the command window. So I've already installed it. So what you guys do is you just go into this URL and click that 64-bit installer and double click that Heroku 64.exe file and complete your installation. Once you have completed your installation, what you should wanted to do is whenever you are using this type of Heroku, you need to create one file called proc file. So inside that proc file, you need to give that instructions. Okay, so now we are in this directory and I'm clicking index.js for reference. I'm just going to create a new file called proc file, PROCFILE. So you can able to see the Heroku logo here, right? Once you have hit enter, you can see a proc file which has got update, which is not untagged file. Okay, so that's it has also been shown. But inside the proc file, I'm going to give the instruction, web instruction, which is node space index.js. I hope you already know what that index.js node space index.js command will do. It will execute our application. So that execution of our application, that command I've given us like web colon node space index.js. That's what the proc file which we have created. Now, what you need to do is you need to log in your Heroku. There are two ways to log in your Heroku. One way where you can able to create an application by using the Heroku UI. You can go here and you can click a create new app and you can create a new app. For an example, here I'm just going to create a new app by clicking create new app. It is going to ask you the app name. So here as well, you can able to create it, or else you can create it in a different way. For an example, I'm just going to create in this name. So DevOps-my-node-name. So I'm just going to create like this and choose a region. Okay, app is not available. Let me give the name like this. Okay, always remember, whenever you are creating an application, that should be a unique name. So I just created this name and it is going to choose a region. You can choose any nearby region. I'm going to choose the United States. And now you can see add payment method. Okay, so initially they won't charge you any money. Okay, so if based on the resources, if you are using more resources, you need to pay. But to create a app, it is going to ask a payment method. Okay, you need to add your card or those things. Okay, so guys, it's up to you. So if you really wanted to practice in a file level of deployment level, you can just do it. Otherwise, that's up to you. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I've already added my credit card and I've already brought that Heroku. So that's why I wanted to show you this. Ta-da! So I'm just going to log in again. Yeah. So I'm just opening my Heroku account. So this is the place where I've already created an account. So it is going to ask for the verification whenever we are really opening it. So verify. So I'm just using my iPhone to authenticate it. So I'm just going to authenticate right now from my mobile phone. So guys, these are all the procedures you need to do. Okay. So yeah. So I'm just going to click continue and I'm just going to authenticate from my mobile phone. Okay. So yes. So once it got authenticated, it will open you the Heroku's main dashboard. So that is the place where you need to create your application. So as I've already told you, to create an application, you can create it from the command window or the terminal, or you can create it with the help of the UI. So here you can just open the Heroku, you can create a new app by clicking a new and create a new app. So likewise, you can do. Okay, to make sure that has been logged in, you just want to open your terminal and execute the command Heroku space login. So whenever you are hitting that, it is going to ask you to open your browser and those stuffs to log in your account. Look out that warning Heroku update. Okay. Okay, now it is asking press any key to open up a browser. So I'm in this path. I'm in this browser. I'm just going to hit enter. So once I've hit enter, it is going to open that browser to log in your Heroku from the CLI, command line interface. Okay, from the command window. Yes, it's just opening. And again, I'm going to click login. Yeah, this is how you can able to log into your Heroku with the help of from the command line interface. I mean the command window. Look at that, logged in. You can also close this page. Yes, because right now if you are seeing your terminal, you can see we guys have logged in as Sanjay at pandecmail.com. Now it's time to create an application. To create an application, you can use, as I've already told you, you can use this command in your command prompt, or you can create your application from your UI. So DevOps-my-node-app-2. Okay, I'm just going to create another application. This project I've already created. So whenever I'm hitting enter, it is going to create a new application in my Heroku. Look out that, creating a DevOps my node app 2 done. And when you are opening your Heroku, whenever you are really refreshing your page, refreshing that application, you can able to see the application which you have created in here. So DevOps my node app 2. Just see here. So this is how you can able to create an application. Even all the updates will be shown for you guys. You can just carefully watch latest activity, which is just now enabled. We guys have created this account. So metrics, last 24 hours, everything which is going to be shown for you. Every information about your application which is going to be shown here. And right now, set up Heroku as a remote repository. What we are going to do is, whenever you are really creating this type of application, you need to set up that as a Heroku remote repository. To do that, this is what git space git.heroku.com. Okay, it is not like github.com. It is a heroku.com / my-node-app.git. So we are going to create something. Okay, git space remote space space add space Heroku space https://git.herokuapp.com. So here, what I'm going to do is, what you can do is, either you can just check it out your app 2. So what I'm going to do is, here in my place, I'm just going to add git space remote space space add space Heroku space. I'm just going to set up a certain URL. Let us try. Okay, remote Heroku already exists. Okay, because I've already added previously, so we can also test it out by adding it again, but it will work for you. Okay, so yes, remote Heroku already exists. Okay, yeah, that's what we have added. Okay, so what you can just see is, you can see in that command line interface, you can see those commands. Okay, standalone installation. Okay, you can just see curl by using a curl methodology. I think we guys have already explored the curl methodology. Npm space install -g Heroku version. So check it out, the Heroku version, and logging in. All the commands will be shown for you. Heroku space create. Okay, so I hope you are clear with this. Please go and read the documentation if it is required. Just go through it. Okay. So yes, whenever you're talking about the Windows, okay, which Heroku, gem uninstall Heroku -all. Okay, if you need to uninstall the Heroku, you can use that command. So every instruction which has been given here, and even in the deployment, you can see the documentation. Just go through this documentation, guys. I think you might have already got this documentation option. And whenever I'm clicking the GitHub, you can see all the GitHub commands will be there. I mean, to execute those commands. Okay, yes. So how you can able to execute it, how you can able to choose the branches, everything which is going to be shown for you. And whenever you're selecting manual deployment, so all the commands will be shown here. Okay, I hope you have got an idea. Just go through the documentation if it is required. So here we have already tested up the certain application. So that's why it is showing the remote Heroku already exists. So that's what we have did. And let us check whether help is there. Okay, even you can see whenever you are really seeing this command, if you really don't know who are you as a Heroku user, so Heroku space who am I. So whenever you are executing it, it will automatically show you who you are, like who you just logged in. So sanjay@pantechmail.com, that's what the user is. So likewise, it is going to show you all those commands. Okay, look at that. Okay, hope you really got it. Add-ons, apps, authentications, so and search, domains, git, every option is going to be shown. Even if I'm showing you like Heroku space git, it is going to show that commands for it. Okay, so Heroku git clone or git remote, so adds remote to an app repository. So yes, so that's what even we have did right now, right? So git space remote space add space Heroku https:/git.heroku.com/node hyphen app hyphen I think that thing which is already present here. So git remote Heroku already exists. So actually here we have got this error, right? If you really want to check out the current remote URL, you can use this command git space remote space -v, and you can see my node app -2, everything which has already been exist. So either you can delete it or you can just modify it. So those things can be done. So remote Heroku already exists. So even if you really want to delete any of the URL, origin URL or anything, you can just do it. Okay, so here, but anyhow, my -node -app -2 has been set up. Whenever you're checking out git space remote space -v, you can able to see the current Heroku version and origins. Okay, fetch and then push, fetch and then push for origin as well as for the Heroku, both the things which is being shown. So now it's time to move further. So now we are going to deploy everything into our GitHub repository. I mean, into the Heroku. So that's why instead of pushing into the origin, right now we are pushing into the Heroku. So git space push space Heroku space main. Whenever you are hitting enter, what it will do is it will push all those things which we guys have configured up to this point of the time into your Heroku application. So guys, really love this. If you are really thinking it's simple, you just post simple Sanjay in the chat. Look out that it is building, it is pushing, and it is installing binaries and everything which has been shown. Build succeeded and compressing it. And right now it might be really ready for the final deployment. Okay, yes, it's just done. Now I'm just opening my Heroku and look out that sanjay@pantechmail.com deployed. Do you really thinking it's simple, guys? Yes, application is deployed. Sanjay, you simply telling application is deployed. How can I test it? Simple. Click open app. Whenever you are clicking an open app, automatically it will give a new URL. So guys, anyone who is just watching this video, if you really want to test this application, I will tell it in few days. If it is not working, don't tell like application is not working, but you can test it by using this URL on your side. So whenever I'm just copying this URL and whenever I'm opening it from my mobile phone, it will work. So we have deployed a certain application with the help of the Heroku. Even on the upcoming days, I will show you how to purchase the domain, how to purchase the hosting. If you have your own personal website, how to launch your application in your own personal website, that I'll teach you on the upcoming days. But right now you can see DevOps-my node, it automatically given the URL and it just shown us like, what is your community? Is it clear? Do you really love this? So this is what the second demonstration which I've shown you. Initially, I've shown the simple demonstration by simply executing the node space index.js. And then we guys have deployed in the GitHub. And then we guys have executed the CI command to test and build our application. And then now I just deployed the application in the Heroku. Still now we haven't deployed CD, those things. But now it's time to go for the CD, continuous deployment. Right now we have did the manual deployment, right? We guys have deployed it manually and we guys have executed the command. That's it, we have did. Other than that, we haven't did anything bigger. But right now, it's time to deploy it, continuous deployment. So whenever you are doing any modification in your program, okay, and you are pushing it to the repository, it will automatically done by building and testing, which is going to be done with the help of CI, and it is going to be deployed into the Heroku. It is going to be updated by itself with the help of CD. Guys, you really love this. So what we are going to do is we are going to update the ci.yml file, because previously we guys have created that YML file only for building and testing purpose, right? For the CI pipelines. But right now we need to modify the code as bigger for CD. Very simple, okay, nothing bigger. Even you can see CI/CD pipeline and runs on whatever Windows or anything, and strategy matrix, same matrix. And in the steps, actually remember, here we have created two jobs. One job is build job, another job is a deploy job. This build job we have already did for the CI pipeline, but right now we are moving on to the CD pipeline. So on that CD pipeline, now I'm just going to see the needs as a build. Just carefully watch it. Here we can also run the deploy application individually, but before running the deployment, it should complete the build job. Is it clear? So it should complete the build job. So that's why we guys have given needs as a build. Is it clear? So now deploy needs as a build. First of all, before going for the deployment, it should complete this build job first. That's what we are just going to do it right now. And then runs on Windows latest, of course. And steps as, again, first of all, you need to check out which repository need to be updated, because in the GitHub, you need to see all that build those things. And set up Git configuration. We have already set it up the Git configuration. Even if you really want to test it, I mean, set it up here, you need to set it up. For an example, Git repository, which is Sanjay Warisway, that is the username, right? You just want to give that properly. Okay, so username is your username. I'm just going to give that here. And my user.email, which is Warisway hub at gmail.com. So likewise, I've just given here, and name is, for that we have given the name like deploy to Heroku, and environment variables. So here the very important thing, whenever there is a Heroku is a separate application and GitHub is the separate application. If there is a communication, there need to be a communication between Heroku versus the GitHub, it can be communicated with the help of API, right? I hope you all remember. So API is application program interface, where one application able to communicate with another. So that's why here we have configured one API, one variable called Heroku API key and Heroku API key. So likewise, we have given, and Heroku app name. So what is our Heroku app name? So you just want to give that. Okay, so DevOps my-node -app2. So in your code, you need to change that Heroku app name. So that has also been modified. And API key, don't worry, this API key, I'll be configuring it very soon. But right now, it is going to do all the step to deploy in the Heroku from the command window. First of all, it will go into the machine, and it is going to use the Heroku email ID and Heroku API key. And it is going to log into this next command, where it is going to be, Heroku API key and those things. Even you can see this is API. First of all, it is logging into the api.heroku.com. Now it is moving on to the git.heroku.com. And then it is going to use this as a Heroku URL, git add Heroku URL. And then it is going to pull all the files. I mean, while talking about the rebase, because here we are doing, if there is any modification we are doing in the local base, that need to be updated in the cloud itself. That's why we are really doing a rebase here. And git space push space Heroku main. So it is on the main branch. So here we are going to put Heroku space push space Heroku main. So all the instruction which is going to be executed by itself. So first we have modified the ci.yml file, but it is not enough. Why? As I've already told you, in our code, you can't put your API key here simply because it should be hidden, it should be protected. So that's why what we are going to do is, first step, open your Heroku. So once you have opened your Heroku, you just want to get your API key. Just go to your Heroku account and click account settings. And once you have clicked the account settings, you can scroll down and you can see the API key. Okay, what you just do is, guys, you just click reveal and copy this API key. Okay, just simply copy the whole complete API key once you have, once you have copied it. Once you have revealed it, you just simply copy the whole complete API key. Once you have copied the whole complete API key, go to your GitHub. Okay, once you are into the GitHub, click the settings. Once you have clicked the settings, scroll down. You can see secrets and variables and click actions. Okay, all the steps which I've detailedly given in this document, guys: settings, secret and variables, and actions. Just go here. And you can see one option called environment secrets and repository secrets. Okay, you just want to go for the repository secret and you need to paste the Heroku API key. Okay, let me do it from here. I'm going to copy this Heroku API and click a new repository secret and paste your API key. It is not pasting because you need to reveal it and you need to copy that and you need to paste it. Okay, so I'm going to reveal it and I'm going to copy that and I'm going for here. I'm just going to paste my secret API key here. And now it is asking for the name for my Heroku app, right? So what is the name for that variable? Is Heroku API key. Just give that name, Heroku underscore API underscore key. That's what the Heroku name which we have configured, and click add secret. So what we have configured to have a communication between GitHub repository and the Heroku application, we are really configuring the communication through the Heroku API. So, and even that Heroku API, we have not written directly in the program. Instead, it is going to be accessed from the GitHub repository as well. So that's why we have configured those things. And now we are into the code. Okay, and right now all the setup has been completed, guys. I hope you all really excited to see the final demo. Very simple. First, commit and push the changes, right? You already know, because whenever you are seeing the code, this is a modified field, this is untracked file, everything you need to update it properly. So that's why first command this git space add space period. So it is going to add every files into a stacked file. And now we are, which is like we are adding a CD flow, because previously we have added the continuous integration workflow. Now we are adding it to the CD continuous deployment workflow. So git commit, have added the git deployment workflow. Now it is needed to be updated in two parts. One is we are going to push into the Heroku, git repository, git space push space origin space main. We are going to push into the two parts. One is origin, another one is a Heroku. So now we guys have pushed everything into the git first. Even you can able to see the output, like see the update in your Heroku here, proc file, everything which has got updated. But now it is not enough. You need to push into your Heroku as well. So that's why git space push space Heroku space main. And whenever you're opening a terminal and whenever you are executing it, so it is going to be pushed into the Heroku. Okay, so look how that building shows everything which is going to be done. And right now you will be really feeling happy right now after seeing this, because whenever you're going for the actions right now, it is going to have CD workflow. Whenever I'm going to click the CD workflow, you can see two things, because deploy is dependent on the the CD. Deployment is dependent on the testing, right? CI. So that's why even in that configuration, this deploy job is dependent on the build job. So that's why first here there is a CI is there, and after the CI here we have a deploy. You can see, so CI is being completed. Now it is moving on to the deploy. So deploy is already running because this command has been verified, deployment is done. So now it is moving on to the deployment. Look how that it is going to execute all those steps and it is going to update the results finally. Guys, do you really love this? Okay, if you really love this, you just post, I love this, Sanjay, in your live chat, guys, because this is how you will be working in a real company. Okay, instead of simply taking a Netflix clone, it is not going to really make sense. Okay, just simply doing a Netflix clone, it is not going to be helpful for in a deployment level. So please go and learn that. But right now, what the error we have got is no such files or directory. Okay, so what's the error? Okay, cannot read a username for git.heroku.com. Okay, no such device or address. Okay, interactive has been disabled. Okay, so this is the error we got. Okay, just carefully read the error. It is just showing you the fatal could not read a username for the git.heroku.com. Here the GitHub is communicating with the Heroku with the help of the API, right? But we have already configured the APIs and that's right? But still now we are getting an error like username for this git.heroku.com is not found. So that's why to solve this issue, so what we are going to do is we are going to configure that username of our, git.heroku.com in the environmental variables of the GitHub. So that's what we are going to do. And before that, you just make sure, yeah, everything is good. The same code, I haven't changed anything. Okay, the same thing is out there. But right now, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to create I'm going to create one variable called Heroku_email. So what I'm going to do is just open your GitHub and go to the settings, because as we guys have already configured the API here, you just scroll down and you can just check it out, the secrets and variables. And here you can see the actions. So whenever you are just checking out the actions, so here you can see we have already configured for Heroku API_key, right? At the same time, right now I'm going to create another new variable by clicking a new repository key. Here the variable name, which is going to be Heroku_email. And what is the email ID which you have used to create an Heroku account? So which is sanjay@pantechmail.com. So that's what the email ID which I've given, and I'm just going to click add secret. So this is the one and only change which I've did right now. Okay, I hope you are clear about this step. Okay, previously we have added Heroku API key. Now I've added the email address. Okay, the Heroku login email address. And once it is done, so again, I'm going for the actions. Now I don't want to build, or I don't want to, I don't want to add and commit again. Why? Because I haven't did any modification in the program. I just added a variable inside the GitHub. So that's why I don't want to do the same steps again. Instead, what I can do is I can just open the last modified commit, which we have already did. And you can see this first part, which has been already completed, like CI part has been already completed. But the CD part, which you just shown the error, right? I hope you all remember. In the CI part, we guys have run it with the help of Node 14 version, 16 version, and 18 version. So that 3 jobs has been already completed. But in the deployment, we guys have got that error called that username not found kind of error we guys have found, right? So what we are going to do is, on the top, you can see the option like rerun jobs. You can select that, and instead of running all the jobs, you can just run a failed jobs. So rerun failed jobs. And it is asking whether it is a deploy function. Yes. Deploy job. So yes. So I'm going to click rerun. So once you are doing a rerun, it already completed. So it is going to skip that. Instead, it is going to directly jump onto the deploy option. In the deploy, it is going to run that, and it is going to check out whether there is a problem or not. Okay. Even we can see that. Let me show you. Yes, I just opened the deploy job. So yes, it is deploying. Okay, again, it just got the error. Okay, so it is just passing it by. Okay, so what is the error we have got? If you want to integrate the remote changes, use git pull before. Okay, so fail to push refers to DevOps. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to rerun it again. I think some problem with the Heroku app name, because I changed a bit in between. I just did a little modification in this index.js, like I just changed the text, how it need to be printed in output. So right now I'm just going to click git add all, And then again, I'm just going to do a final modification. So I'm going to do the commit. So git space, commit space, -m, add cd workflow modified. Instead, what I can do is I can just add is like final or something. Okay, I'm just going to hit enter. So that has also been added. And once it got added, so I'm just going to push into the origin. So git push space origin space main. So that has also been added. And once it got added, I'm just going to push into the Heroku. So that is also going to be pushed right now. Okay, once it got pushed, I'm just going to test it again. Okay, I hope you're all ready for it. And before that, you just make sure whether you have configured the variables properly. Just go to the settings and go to this secret and variables and just check out the actions. And once you are checking out, you can see Heroku email we guys have configured properly. Just make sure you have did that. And let us go for the actions. And this is the workflow of modified final. And right now on the left hand side, CI is under the process. It is going to check out all this version availability. And then it is going to move on to the deploy option. Okay, let us wait and check. Okay, CI part has been completed. Now it is moving on to the deploy. Okay, yeah. So ta-da! So you can just see the deploy issues which has been fixed because we guys have added the environmental variables to find out the Heroku email ID because it just shown username is not found. So that's why we guys have configured the Heroku email as sanjay@panic.mail.com because I have created the Heroku by using that email address. And right now, when you are checking out in the actions parts, all these 4 is being completed. And what you can do is if you are opening the Heroku dashboard right now, and if you are really refreshing this, you can see that update. What is that update is? Like is that application has been deployed or not? Look out that just now. Okay, just now it got deployed. So how many version we are creating, everything will be updated here. So sanjay@pantechmail.com deployed just now. And even whenever I'm clicking open app, you can able to see the final demo. Hello, what is way community? Okay, that's it, guys. Okay, do you really love this? And even as I've already told you, you can test it out this application. First test, you need to do a local testing. So while talking about the local testing, you can just run the command like node space index.js. It is going to give you the URL like http://localhost:3000. And whenever you're hitting enter, you can able to see the output first. That's what the first test you can do. And whereas we are talking about the second test, which is on the CI/CD testing. While talking about the first thing, you can just make any modification in the program. For an example, you can just open the code. Hello, what is way community? You can just do any modification. Okay, here. Okay, welcome to full stack web development series. Okay, likewise, I'm doing some modification in my application, and whatever the modification which you are doing in the code, so you need to don't forget this git space add space dot. Okay, so I'm just going to add it, and then you need to do a commit. So while doing a commit, you need to give the proper commit message. So what is the commit messages? Final demo modification on CI/CD. Okay, likewise, I just given some commit message. And once you have given the commit message, you need to push into the origin first. So that is going to be updated in your GitHub. And then you need to push into the Heroku. So that's what we are going to do. So initially, we guys are pushed into the origin. Now we are pushing it to the Heroku main. So once it has been done, that's it. Okay, how you can able to test the application? Very simple. First, you can just open your action tab in your GitHub. And you need to see the commit message which you are given that is going to be shown there. You just want to open it. So if there is any error which is showing, same as like what we guys have did previously, you need to see that error, you need to study it, and you need to fix the error. Okay, here final demo modification on CI/CD. So that has been shown here. You can just simply select that, and you can able to observe. So is there any problem or not or anything? So first of all, it is going to be deploying the CI. So that is how you can able to test it out the CI/CD. And once it has been done, once both the side, if you are really seeing some tick marks or those things, then that is good to go, because now you can open your Heroku dashboard and you can launch your application. That's what we can do. Even while talking about deployed application testing, as I've already told you, you just want to open your Heroku, and inside that Heroku dashboard, you can able to see the application's URL, and you can just open it. So whenever you are really opening it, you can just see the final demo, that URL, which you can able to share it to anyone, so they can able to easily access that URL. They don't want to install anything, and also they don't want to have anything. So you can look out that 3 jobs completed. I mean, CI is also been completed, CD is also been completed. Now, if the people are opening the the dashboard, and you can see so the final demo, so when it has been deployed, so you can just refresh the dashboard which is available, and you can see which has been version 9. Okay, how many modification, everything will be recorded. So finally it has been deployed right now. So now you can just simply click open app. So it is going to show you, hello Warishway community, welcome to full stack web development series. And this URL, which you can able to share it with your anyone, any community, so they can able to easily see the application. Okay, so that is what it's all about, and I hope you really loved it. So up to this part in the final level of deployment, like DevOps, okay, development plus operation development plus, and also we have learned to deploy it in the Heroku. Okay, please go and do it. You can also use our previous built application, even your personal website you have created, right? That personal website or anything. Okay, you can just try to deploy it in real time with the help of the Heroku, and also deploy CI/CD as well. Because if there is any problem with the testing application or testing part, because even previous session we guys have explored about the Jest and then Mocha. You just try to deploy the Jest and Mocha into the certain application